is now. The first Y2K birthdays and newly released hostages are reunited with their families.
This is Headline News, Late Watch with Sachi Koto.
Sachi's off tonight. I'm Jim Morelli. Thank you for joining us. Celebrations of the new year and the new millennium are working their way across the U.S. and around the world hour by hour. More than 1 million people ignored worries about millennial terrorism and turned out to greet the new year in New York City's famed Times Square. The crowd counted down the seconds to the year 2000 as a glittering crystal ball was lowered. The sky was filled with fireworks and confetti. Musicians, dancers, giant puppets, and light shows entertained the crowd throughout the day and evening. In the nation's capital, New Year's revelers got jiggy on the Washington Mall. Rap star Will Smith gave a cameo performance on what the First Lady called America's sacred ground. As the president watched, the Washington Monument was bathed in the bright light from a fireworks display. The Lincoln Memorial set the stage for a light show. And the changing of the millennium was reflected in the reflecting pool. Millions of people danced the new year in Miami. Bayfront Park in downtown Miami was the site of a salsa concert, while singer Gloria Estefan performed in a new downtown arena, and the group Blondie sang on Miami Beach. Despite the warm weather, Miami celebrations did not draw the huge crowds that were expected. The cold weather is putting a freeze on millennium celebrations in Fairbanks, Alaska. A fireworks display at a local university was canceled when the thermometer dipped below minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Police say a thick fog is also covering the area, and no one could have seen the display. North Pole, Alaska, 25 miles south of Fairbanks, will go ahead with its fireworks. Now we'll look at other celebrations as Y2K made its way around the world. Brazil was the first South American country to samba into the year 2000. On Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro, millions of revelers dressed in white welcomed the new millennium by honoring Iemanjá, the goddess of the sea. They dropped white flowers and floating candles into the Atlantic Ocean as offerings to her. In Britain, celebrations included thousands of flaming beacons lighting the night. At midnight, a 200-foot-high River of Flames fireworks display swept down the Thames River in London. It was supposedly visible from space. Big Ben chimed in the new century before a live television audience. Partygoers celebrated inside the Millennium Dome, which has the biggest roof on Earth. Another showpiece for the big celebration is a 450-foot-tall Millennium Ferris wheel, the world's largest. The City of Light lived up to its name. Paris marked the turn of the century with a grand show of lights and colors for more than 1 million revelers. The Eiffel Tower set off flashes from 20,000 bulbs, but there was one glitch. The digital countdown clock on the tower suddenly stopped just 5 hours before midnight. And here's how the 21st century looks in Moscow. St. Basil's Cathedral is in the foreground there with the Kremlin behind it. Many were concerned that if there was to be a wide-scale Y2K computer failure, Russia might be the place. So far, though, everything is reported to be running smoothly. We'll be keeping an eye out in the days to come to see if it stays that way. Robert De Niro, Sophia Loren, and a White House full of other celebrities are helping President Clinton celebrate the new millennium. Among the 360 or so guests are some of the world's foremost actors, writers, and thinkers. The surroundings, the lavishly decorated East Room, were nearly as impressive as the guest list. The President's Council on Y2K Conversion says a computer glitch at a Midwestern utility company was repaired within minutes of being detected. A council spokesman says the company's computers mysteriously leapt ahead 35 days at midnight Greenwich Mean Time. The glitch had minimal impact. No customers were affected. Clinton administration officials say so far there's nothing out of the ordinary happening as the clocks roll over. They do caution that it could take several days for problems to come to light. 5 employees at a Bank of America branch in Olathe, Kansas are free, but their hostage takers are still inside. Another hostage had been released earlier. Police don't know if they're holding anyone else. An FBI official says the situation began after an aborted holdup attempt by 2 armed women. Negotiations are underway to end the standoff. Snipers reportedly have been deployed outside the building.